Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas, and today I have the proud privilege of welcoming someone who came from India, did his study as well as worked and played important role. What positions he worked, where he worked, we'll talk about that. But most important today, as we are approaching 8th November, and indeed you see Republican nominee and Democrat nominee for the presidential election with me, but there are parallel elections happening with this main election, and that includes the election of Township Council at Woodbridge. Bridge and ridge words are so close, and bridge word is becoming very much important for people of New Jersey. Beyond controversy, let's go to the pure Veer Bhadra Viru Patel, who is candidate for Township Council, 4th Ward, Woodbridge, New Jersey. Namaskar, welcome.
Namaskar, Ashok Bhai. Very good. Thank you, Ji.
Virubai, it's such a pleasure to see Indian Americans taking active part in the mainstream American politics. Let's begin with your exposure to America when you came as a student, and then you have worked in majored in highway and transportation engineering, and after that you worked in New York Department of Transportation. So share those days when you were working in the field of transportation and where you felt politics plays an important role for the common man.
Well, first of all, let me thank you, Ashok Bhai. Thank you for letting me be here. First of all, I would like to ITV viewers Happy Diwali and a very prosperous New Year from me and my family. I'm Viru Patel. I'm the actually 4th Ward Woodbridge councilman. I'm a sitting councilman, and I'm going for re-election, and election is only like 8 days away. To answer your question, yes, I did come in 1980, and I came on like a permanent visa. I didn't come on student visa, and I was, like a permanent immigrant.
Somebody filed for your visa.
Right. My brother was here for about, I think he came in 1970. He filed the documents for us, and at that time I was already in engineering, and I came, and I was actually looking forward to do my study here too, so I went to college and that, but then I changed my mind. I went back to actually India from here.
Oh, really?
But I used to stay here every year about 2-3 months, and work and, whatever I could do to make some money. And then I can go to India and do my study. But I did study Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, and I also did my Master's in Traffic and Transportation Engineering. To share my experience, let me tell you, when I came, we didn't have that many Indian descents, from India, and mainly even from Gujarat. We didn't have that many people, where I lived, I've been living in Woodbridge Township since I came. So that's my 36th year in Woodbridge, and Iselin particularly where I live, that's about like 32 years I've been living there. And it was a totally different experience, Even if you go to the shopping mall and if you find one Indian face and want to just say hello, and after saying hello, you sit down there for about 10-15 minutes and you talk, Not only that, we were looking at the, like a yellow book and white pages and directory to find where the Indians are, because we want to find some friends, because there were no friends around, so you had to make friends. So you see there is like Patel, Shah, Desai, Singh, whoever, you can find, you call them and you meet, And I mean, you can see even today in Iselin, we have very flourishing, vibrant, market there. Many people come, like thousands of people come every week and every weekend to do shopping. There was not a single Indian store. But like last 25 or so years, now you can see like a flourishing Indian market there. Where I live, Woodbridge has about like 42% of, like a Indian, living in that area where, it's my section. That's Iselin 4th Ward has about 40-some% Indian live there.
So let me interrupt you and let's talk a little bit about the special features of your area, Woodbridge, and you mentioned there are so many Indian Americans. So probably you have seen there are some specific issues related to that particular locality, and maybe some of them were attended by you also in the course of 3-4 decades.
Yes. Let me tell you, yes, we are a growing community, and I would say we are one of the maybe biggest communities, if you look at the township wise. And we do have concerns, yes, and we do have our own things. But, I was in last 25 years, I was not just like sitting alone. I was always in public life. I worked with more than 20 different organizations, that is in nature like cultural, religious, educational, and some of them are even political. Not only that, the Woodbridge Township administration, I have been closely working with them for about 20 years, doing fundraiser for the mayor, the councilmen, doing call banks for them. Even whenever the governor election is there, we do that. So I was heavily involved with them. And we did have concerns, and we did do that. Our administration in Woodbridge, if you look at it, record, we have about 3 cricket fields in Woodbridge Township. That's what our community wanted to have it. In our Indian market, the administration, mayor's administration has provided about 250 free parking spaces. We are the only town about like 2 years ago, Diwali was, given as a like official holiday. Not only that, we have done one of the biggest parade, I would say, out of India. I mean, there is one parade in actually New York too. It's done by FIA. But IBA, Indian Business Association, the one which does also one very big parade on Oak Tree Road, and which has about 40 to 50,000 spectators and more than about 25 floats there. And that is, we cannot do without the help from the administration. We are, if you look at the safety wise, Woodbridge is the crossroads of the New Jersey. I don't know if you know about geographically. Every highways you can imagine possibly, like Turnpike, Parkway, Route 27, Route 1, 9, 35, they all goes through our town. We do not have any like homicide record in 10 years. So that's a safe town. Not only that, our town, where we have one of the nicest relation of the, like a mayor's, like our mayor is Mayor McCormick anyway, and I'm one of the team member of Mayor McCormick. This is the only town I would say in New Jersey where we have sweetest relation with the police department, the mayor's office, and even Department of Education.
Okay, so let me sort of take you to another side.
And the sweet town, but not only that, our community, we have one of the nicest relation, I would say. Indian community has the nicest relation with the administration.
Virubhai, what you are saying is music to our ears, and we always want to hear good and positive stories. But at the same time, when the election is near, we try to see what is it that you are offering, and what is it that makes you so much active in politics, and why were you nominated for becoming a council member in this township council? For about a year and a half or so, you have already served as the As, at this position for which you are now contesting. Right. So let's talk a little bit about when this offer came your way. Why you felt that yes, this is something where I would be able to make some meaningful contribution.
Well, as I said, I mean, we have a town. I have been always involved with the administration. I exactly know what our community wants. And as I said, we are about 42%, but I still have 58% of the other community, you know what I'm saying. So when you are a councilman, you are the councilman of the 4th ward. Yes, but as an Indian, our mayor wanted to reflect the same way the demographics of the whole town. And we never had an Indian, on the sitting council. So that's where he gave us the opportunity. So that's a really big honor for our community. It's not my personal achievement, I would say. But yes, we do have it. We have aging community. Our seniors are there, and they need a social places to get together, sit down, and spend the time. I'm working with the township to make sure it happens, and it's in the pipeline. There is one center we have it. We are trying to get it and give it to the seniors. Another thing, we will maybe the pilot program we are trying to put in our town, meaning this is the first town will be in New Jersey maybe, where we are going to create a microgrid system, but we are working on it. And even the natural disaster or any calamity happens around the area, right? Woodbridge will be the one where even our Indian market will be open, no matter what. Lights will go out of the entire New Jersey, We still have a light in our market. So we are working on a lot of different things. But as I said, I'm still there 24/7. If any of our committee members or anybody has any concerns, yes, I'm going to take it forward and make sure that it's properly and adequately heard at the appropriate place, yes.
Okay, one concern which as a layman, even from a distance from Woodbridge, maybe not directly related to Woodbridge, but law and order issues sometimes cause additional concern in terms of the way they are handled. So I wouldn't get into any specific case, and I'm not probably talking about Woodbridge especially, but
Right.
in New Jersey as a whole, there are cases when Indian Americans were attacked, and then that case continues for a long time, and people feel that the justice was served, but not the way that community is satisfied. That if a person of the stature of professor was attacked, then perpetrators, the way they should be penalized for their act, probably weren't in one particular instance. So, when something like this happens as a council member, in what way you work with the community?
Well, let me tell you, it's a really good question. Yes, our community is always like feared, I know that. But this is off the tracker. I'm not talking about Woodbridge now, okay? This is about beyond Woodbridge what's happening, so that's a different thing now. They always feel like there is a racial discrimination by the administration, whether it's like local or county or the state level. They also feel like there is a police profiling, you know. Yes, those are the concerns they have it. And when those kind of cases happen, yes, they feel it more.
Yes.
But the way I look at it is, a lot of time it's not handled appropriately by our, you know, some leaders in them. I would say if anything happened to our community man or anyone, I would say you have to have a right lawyer, first of all that. Your presentation should be appropriate, that's what I feel. If you try to make it politically like motivated case, you know, like in the beginning, just try to segregate yourself that rather than letting fight that way. And if you try to do like, you know, show and you try to protest, I don't think so. I don't think it's the right way to do it. I mean, if, you know, we are very learned people, we are experienced people, you know, we are like a cream of India comes here, that's what I'm saying. And we all do really good thing for the life. Look at our Indians, you know, we are the most successful community in America where average income of the house is $90,000 a year. No other community has it. So we are the one who achieved that. So on the other side, I would say, yes, if you feel it that way, go to the right authority or maybe get the good lawyers, you know, but that is the way it should be done. That's what I feel, you know. You know, and as I said, America is the country where we have to believe in the Constitution because all those elected officials, even the police officers, we take the oath. And we take the oath under Constitution. And this is the country where we have always, you know, one thing we have to believe, there's a foundation that this is the country and our Constitution and the government is made of the people, for the people, and by the people, and you have to believe in that.
So you believe in the democracy. Basically, that's what I would summarize from Virubai's expression of by the people, for the people, etc. But we are in the middle of a very, very vibrant and very much polarized presidential race campaign, which is bringing this phrase again and again for us that the system is rigged. Now, how do you look at this particular way of looking at the system? On the one hand, as you were saying, and all of us look up to the system, and then we hear from the presidential nominee saying that the system is rigged.
Okay. Well, let me tell you one thing. This is the same country where that, you know, candidate who is saying the system is rigged, he has filed many bankruptcies and he got away with it. So that's one thing. So that's a system works, right? That's what I say. Whether in that particular person's favor or somebody's against it. I mean, look at that. I mean, the same person was talking about like 3 months ago that system was rigged because, you know, FBI, you know, gave like an open, you know, like a, like a trick to, you know, like a Hillary Clinton. And now the same person is thinking like 2 days ago, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, that, hey, thank you, man, you know, you did the right thing now. So it's the same FBI director and the same our like candidate. 2 months ago what he was saying and like 2 days ago what saying, there is a difference. So I think it's still, we are the country, we are one of the best country and one of the best government in the world. We have really very legit and working democratic system. And you know what? Everybody should believe in it. And you know, even the presidential candidate should believe in it, right? And if it's not, we shouldn't drum the wagon about it, but we should try to fix it if we feel it's rigged. But I think if you are losing and if you want to try to make a rigged system as a political issue, I think it shouldn't stand here.
So let's hope things move in the direction the way they serve the larger good. But which candidate, where, how the system works, learning about it also is an experience for many people who are new. And for example, let's talk about 8th November. So people will be going there to cast their votes to decide who will be the next president. But in addition to that, there are some parallel votes happening, like in Woodbridge Township, they'll also be casting their vote for the next councilman. How that operates, share with us for someone who's going to cast his vote for the first time, what is it that he should keep in mind so that he's not confused at the voting site?
Well, yeah, that's another thing. The system is pretty simple, let me tell you that. I mean, right now it looks like we have about 18% of the people, they voted by the ballots, absentee ballot. I mean, those who could not go to the polling booths and physically do the, like voting, they already did it. And I would say by the time next, we still have about 8 days, it will go about 22% or 24%. So that's about 1 in 4 votes already casted. Other 75 or whatever was left, right? I think if you go to the polling booth, right? Usually you don't need anything to show them, but a lot of time you get in mail or like your ID card, you take it there, you give them. So it's easy to fill out, find your name. Only the thing they check your previous signature on that record with yours, and basically you take the slip and go to the poll booth and you open up the door. I mean, there is usually curtain, it's a hiding process, so what happened, nobody can see what you are doing, but it's electronic. And I mean, I think in India or maybe other part they do it, you press the button, whatever the candidate you like, and then at the end you just cast the vote. So it's pretty simple, But I would say all the people who have privilege to vote, they should go out. It's very critical this time. And it's not people are going to go with their own party. I think this is the first time people will go on the other side of the aisle. Even the undecided one will go this way or that way. So it's going to be very interesting, I think, voting this time. First time in the history it will happen.
It's definitely very, very interesting and very exciting. And
Right.
every day we get some additional information or some leak which changes our perception about a particular candidate. But in your case, your race, how do you feel about your position? And when you reach out to the potential voters in your constituency, what is it that you are offering for them to assure them that you are the right candidate?
Well, let me tell you, in Woodbridge, where we are about 70% like a registered Democrat. That's one good thing. We have really very little chance for the Republican, but we have some undecided voters too. I have a ticket from the Democratic Party, so I'll be on a column B right under Hillary Clinton. So actually, when we do like a vote, go and do campaign, I'm part of the actually Mayor McCormick team, so we have to do that. And when we say Mayor McCormick, because last election, like a year ago, Mayor McCormick actually won the election with 89.3% votes.
Wow.
We broke all the previous record, my district, and my ward, they broke. So this time, we are working on the same number or maybe higher. But we have to say that we are like a Mayor McCormick team because he's done such a great job with the township and also for our community. So that's one thing. And we are also asking people to go because they have to look up Hillary too. I mean, we want to create a first-time historical, like a record by putting first lady as a president in like 240 years of democracy. So I think we have some really good poll, and I wish it works out that way. And our at least community, they don't go that much for voting, but this time I think definitely they go out for votes. And likewise like a registered Democrat or I think I would say Republican wouldn't go that much because they know our towns is mainly Democrat, they know it. And in front of me, like my position, I have one independent and one actually Republican. Republican is not even doing any advertisement or any campaign. Independent, I mean, their efforts and our efforts are, if you look at the scale, we are at least 10 to 1. We are at least 10 to 9 our efforts, and their efforts is 1 and 2.
So basically, what I hear from Viru Bhai, Veerabhadra Viru Patel, is a sense of confidence as well as a sense of commitment and enthusiasm. And I'm sure after 8th November, when the results are out, he's going to come back and talk to you about the whole experience and his vision at that point of time. But as I express my good wishes, last question. You have served with Mayor McCormick for over 18 months or so. What is it that you feel has been the special learning for you working with this team?
Yes, I think, actually very nice. Let me tell you, most citizen doesn't know exactly what, even I didn't know till I sat on the council, that how complex system is. It's a family of more than 100,000 residents. Mayor, administration, and we have about like more than 15 different departments, right? And they have to make sure that everyone is safe, everyone, like sewer is gone, it's treated, everyone is given water, like a hospital is run, EMS. Even just you go to like one simple example, let's say you go to the public works. At a given day, they do about 50 to 100 different things a day. They go out and pick up the recyclable, this, that, how it works. They have to separate, they have to sell it, they have to make sure it doesn't have any environmental problem. So it's a very complex system to run this, like a town. I would say at a given time, they have more than 400 to 500 different things happening by different departments to take care of the community. And it's amazing to be part of that. I mean, you see police as the police, but when you go there, I mean, there are like 100 different things they are doing. They are doing undercover thing. They are, they have some prisoner. They have to take care of them. They have to make sure that even they don't like hang themselves or hurt themselves. That's another thing. They have to feed them. If you are in the school district, you have to say no student is getting bullied. Make sure all the teachers, they come on time and do this and that. Our grades are maintained. So many things.
So there is a complex,
very complex
area, and by the presence of Viru Bhai Patel, our community gets to learn a little bit more, because when there is someone working closely with the community as well as with the administration, it definitely helps. And lastly, personally, who do you consider to be your role model who has always been a source of inspiration or motivation for you?
Well, let me tell you, my father, he was my role model. I mean, unfortunately, he passed away about like 32 years ago, and he was a role model. He actually had his education, grew up in Mumbai, and his best buddy, I would say, was Morarji Desai.
I see.
He was our prime minister, and my father had a really good relation with him, actually, because we were like that well-to-do by money. So my oldest brother, who came in 1970, Morarji Desai gave from his own trust money to my father, so my brother can go to the medical college in MS University. So I learned that from my father. He was dedicating all his time for some constituents in South Gujarat, and he was very well known in that area. So I mean, I had a really big inspiration and yes, strength from him. And when I came, I couldn't do right away because, as you said, when you come, you have to settle. You have to make some money, you have to buy the house, you have to have a wife, you have to have children, so you do that. But like the last 25 years or so, I've been into public life, and, I would say thank my father.
Wonderful. So, such a pleasure talking to Viru Patel, Veerabhadra Viru Patel. And we are fortunate he shared the reference of his father, how this tradition of learning and serving continues with him, and of course with many of you too. But right now it is the time, if you are in Woodbridge area, you would like to consider whether he is the right candidate for the township council after listening to his way of understanding issues and making his contribution. With lots of good wishes, thank you very much for joining us here at the ITV studio.
Thank you, Ashok. Thank you. Namaskar.
And thanks to all of you for being with us. Namaste.
Namaste.